press conference Friday in the Premier League. Going over Gameweek 3 press conferences, August 29th, Friday, rotowire.com/soccer. To get all of your content, we got a bunch of FPL articles this week. As usual, FPL rankings, Fantrax sleeper rankings. We also got predicted lineups. This page will have confirmed lineups as well. And our cheat sheets have a little bit of everything. And yeah, that's what we got. So let's check out the news section here. Let's pick out the league. Let's pick out Premier League. And there's not that many new things that happened. I think we got the Strand Larson bit of news, the Cole Palmer news we kind of already knew, the Saka news we kind of already knew. So not really anything new that we got in the last 2 days in terms of injuries. But some guys returned midweek, Carabao Cup. But I'll still go over what we have in the press conferences. So yeah, again, this is rotowire.com/soccer. You can find all of this stuff on the site. But let's run through what we have here. I'm scrolling down the list, scrolling down to Thursday's happenings. Of course, we have some midweek things that happen. Harry Wilson picked up a foot injury in the Carabao Cup. Not serious, not as serious as the one last season. I think he's gonna be fine, is what Marco Silva said today. But that may mean he won't be starting, and they're also at Chelsea, so they might go with the different look that includes. Last week it was Castagna starting in a more attacking role. And in the past, we've seen Sessegnon start in the more attacking role. Anthony Robinson. I actually think Anthony Robinson has a chance to start. First game back last week, 28 minutes off the bench, plus whatever in stoppage time. We haven't gotten any update or anything to say, okay, he had a bad reaction or anything. He wasn't in the squad midweek. I'm taking that to assume Anthony Robinson, just being rested on a short week, no reason to use him in a midweek game. I actually think there's a decent chance that Anthony Robinson starts, assuming there's nothing behind the scenes going on, that he's actually not fit, he made his injury worse, kind of a thing. So that's something I watch out for Fulham. They're in that opening match at Chelsea. Brentford didn't have too many happenings. Ait-Nouri expected to play against Brighton. That came out today. He's going to be good to go, so no worries on Ait-Nouri. We know Vardy is out. Let's go up to the most recent one. Yeah, Ait-Nouri, he's fine. That's a classic Pep Guardiola quote. He is fine, yes. I kind of wonder how fine he is. Why did he have to leave so early in last week's game if it was a minor ankle issue? I don't know. Maybe Ait-Nouri is a trouble playing through minor knocks and bruises. Not trying to call him out or anything, but kind of weird that, he's been training all week and had to leave in the 20-something minute in Man City's last game. But that's enough on the Ait-Nouri discussion. Moving up the list here, we're starting to get into some of the actual press conferences. I went back a little further here. Crystal Palace played Thursday. Will Hughes is one that popped up. Kamada returned from his injury. He basically played 90 minutes Thursday. I'm not sure he's going to be ready to start again. I'd be surprised if Kamada started again. But they did just sign Pino from Villarreal. So again, this is 2 days before the game. Is Pino going to be thrown in the starting 11? Maybe. There's a chance. I mean, it depends on what Glasner thinks of Justin Devaney getting another start, kind of a thing. But it doesn't look like Will Hughes is healthy, so we could see Jefferson Lerma back in the midfield, or we could see Kamada be in that midfield role again with Devaney up front. Again, maybe Pino is up there as well. So there's a couple questions in this Crystal Palace 11. The spot next to Wharton and the spot up front with Mateta and Schar. Okafor picked up an issue midweek. Again, just a guy who wasn't going to start for Leeds anyway. Ruder was one of the disappointing ones for Brighton. He had a chance to, I think, play Wednesday. Their game was Tuesday, Wednesday. He did not. So, and it wasn't a better update on Thursday, I think Hertzler's press conference was. But yeah, but sure, he is an option. Okay, so he is an option. It might be that it is a close thing. I am unsure. Not the best quote here from Hertzler. So I would say that Danny Welbeck actually starts again against Manchester City. That would be my guess. I mean, Brighton rotated a bunch midweek and they had a lot of success, but again, I think a lot of that would be level of opponent. A couple of other guys returning, still in the rehab stages of their return. Wissa still out for Brentford, not too surprising. Havertz undergoing surgery. He's going to be out. According to Arteta this morning, he's going to be out hopefully weeks, not months. So I assume, minor MCL, some kind of surgery. They didn't really go into the details for Havertz and the surgery, but it sounds like he could be playing by the time October rolls around. So maybe only, a month out for Havertz. That would be nice. We'll see if he gets back in training at some point in September. The Kajana Hover injury, Dean Miners is another guy who went off with the knee injury in the first half of last week's game, and he was replaced by Jackson Chachua. If Hover's good, then he's good, and he'll probably start before the break. Again, these managers and their unreliable quotes. We'll see what the status of Hover actually is. I'd say he's about 50-50 right here to get the start. I still have doubts. Okay, he's taken off in the first half early in that game with a knee injury, but now he's training and he's fine and he's good to start. So we'll see what his pain threshold is ahead of this game for Wolverhampton. They are home against Everton. Thrown in here, Matthias Fernandes signs with West Ham over from Southampton. So there's a new player for West Ham. So congrats to them getting a new player. Not sure he's the exact replacement for Kudus, but it's someone that they can use. Here are all the updates for Newcastle. Tonali, I think, is probably the big question. I think Schar's fine. Schar being available to return means he didn't actually suffer a concussion. They went through the protocol, but the protocol is okay. You have to be 6 days on the sideline. You can't even train in those 6 days, and then there's a bunch of other tests you have to take. So this is a Monday to Saturday turnaround, I believe, is what it is for Fabian Schar. So I think he's going to be good to start. So I think it wasn't a concussion, just a knock to his head, and he'll be back in there. Joelinton, he is out, though. That was confirmed. He is out. Tonali, this is another pain threshold situation. He played a little bit after, I think it's just a dislocated shoulder that he had on Monday against Liverpool. So this is another threshold situation. His shoulder still hurts. The pain isn't gone, but if he wakes up Saturday and he's like, yeah, I can move. I can put myself out there and play a decent amount. I think he'll be in there. So I did change it to Lewis Miley for a couple seconds. Then I went deep into the quote a little bit more from Eddie Howe. And I think Tonali, assuming this isn't a situation where, in Monday's game where he's just limping around like he can't even hold his shoulder up, assuming that's not the situation, I think he's going to, he's going to fight it out and play. So we'll see what happens with that situation. If he doesn't start, it'll be Lewis Miley, though. McAllister's trained fully all week since Monday's game. We know he missed that Monday game. So there's now a question. Connor Bradley also trained fully this week. There's a question, this Liverpool starting 11, what it's going to look like. Szoboszlai started at right back. So is Connor Bradley actually going to move in there? I'd say with a full week of training, and Slot specifically mentioned a full week of training, I do think that gives the heads up to Connor Bradley because, he goes in the season. He is an actual right back here. Szoboszlai not really, but Szoboszlai still playing a bunch of minutes. And McAllister, they now have a question of, okay, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, not really Curtis Jones, but Connor Bradley. There is a question of who's actually going to start here for Liverpool once their entire team is fit 100%. Is it going to be McAllister and Gravenberch starting the midfield every match? Is Szoboszlai just going to be in bench option going forward when everyone's healthy? So we'll see what that situation looks like. Bradley, again, probably if Bradley starts, he's going to be an early sub, 60, 70 minutes, especially if Szoboszlai's on the bench. McAllister, if he starts, similar situation, I'd say probably around 70 minutes. So we'll see what that actual starting 11 looks like for Liverpool. Good news for Everton. No bad effects here for Michaelenko, who turned. He basically went 90 minutes midweek. So that's a good sign for Everton's left back, who hasn't played in either league match this season. So Michaelenko's return means James Garner is going to be allowed to play his usual position, which is next to Idrissa Gueye in the Everton midfield. When we have some Bournemouth ones, Lewis Cook, he should be getting back to training over the international break. We got a couple updates on some of the Bournemouth guys. Cliver is working on his fitness, and Ryan Christie working on his fitness. Here's the Cole Palmer update, not in the England squad. He is out on Saturday. That one's not too surprising. After everything we read throughout the week, Cole Palmer being out, not surprising at all. Chris Richards took it as a knock to his ankle Thursday. Seems like it's going to be fine. Seems like it's going to be good to start, but also something you may want to keep your eye on here for Crystal Palace's trip to Aston Villa. So, it was swollen. I think the quote was that, let's actually look, let's click. His ankle was swollen, but it looked better after he got treatment. Okay, that makes sense. So right now, a good sign. They played less than 24 hours ago, so it wouldn't be surprising if Richards was out. And I guess you could do, depending on what they do. Jefferson Lerma has been playing a bunch of center back lately. Nathaniel Klein would be the other option. Here's a couple more Chelsea updates. Lavia, Badiashile. And here's the bigger one from today that was kind of surprising. Jorgen Strand-Larsen dealing with a small injury problem, and I hope he can play tomorrow. That's the quote from Vitor Pereira. To wonder if he's just saying that in case, Wolves sell Strand-Larsen today or tomorrow or something like that. And it's like, okay, yeah, he has an injury, so maybe he's not going to be available. We'll see if this is anything. I'm not sure what their 11 is going to look like. I don't think Hechan is going to be in there. I believe, who am I thinking? I guess Bellegarde has played as a false 9 at times. Also, Munetsi has played like 10 different positions. So I think Pereira would do something weird like that because they don't really have a like for like replacement for Strand-Larsen. I don't really think Hechan's a part of this team's plans in the long run here, though. So if Strand-Larsen does miss, that's good news for Everton defense is what I'll say. Harry Wilson, I already touched on that. And then here's a bunch of the Arsenal ones. Gabriel Jesus back in training. You got all the Ben White. Probably going to be Timber getting the start again. Ben White, not 100%. I don't think Odegaard's going to start. Look what he's saying yet. Arteta, this is 4 or 5 days after Arsenal's game. We don't know yet. He hasn't trained yet. And if he does, it will be tomorrow, which is Saturday. He's going to do everything we can. Don't think Odegaard's going to start. So I think that one's pretty clear. I have in, who do I have in? Let me think about it. I have in Ethan Nwaneri getting the start in his place. He's come on for Odegaard in recent games. So Nwaneri in there. I also have Eze projected to start with Madueke. It could be Madueke and Martinelli. We'll see what the implementation of Eze looks like in this group. But it could be without Saka. It could be Martinelli and Madueke on the wings. We'll see what the Arsenal group looks like against Liverpool. But I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun if Eze got the start at Liverpool in his first Arsenal match. But that's all I got here. Game week 3, injuries, press conferences, all that in the Premier League. Again, you can check out all these other. We got Champions League teams confirmed. We got Europa League teams confirmed. So once those get kicked off, you can just click on those, and all of those things will be in there. All the news will be in there. Of course, all these other leagues we have. rotowire.com/soccer. Again, check out. We pretty much got a little bit of everything. No matter what you're looking for, we got a little bit of everything. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of betting videos, more FPL videos as well to come out. But good luck and enjoy Game Week 3 ahead of the international